buddy?
Great to see you.
You too, man. How's things?
Everything's good, man. I love this album. It's such a great story of just of celebrating the 50th, and during the pandemic, it's like there's all of these themes that come together that just make the sound that much more magnanimous.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So I've
Yeah, we
already
had a
played
good
on the
time
show.
with it.
Sometimes I wait, but I played it on the show. So again, it's great to reconvene and talk about this. So I've read the liners. I know how the band came together, how you two came together, but in your words, how did kind of the nexus and the idea of this band form?
Well, a friend of mine, an engineer here in town that I've known and worked with for, God, close to 30 years, a guy named Chris Granger, was having his 50th birthday party. And he said, we were talking, and because we were kind of in the same pandemic pod, if you will.
Yeah.
And he said, man, he said, I always thought that I'd be hanging out in New Orleans, drinking some coffee, listening to a brass band on my 50th. He said, instead, I'm going to be sitting at home, like hunkered down, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, man, you're not going to be in New Orleans, but that's exactly what's going to happen. So I got some friends together and we rehearsed in my garage, had the door open, and got together about, I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes worth of just some standard New Orleans fare. And the day of his birthday, I called him and I told him that my wife and I were going to be coming over for breakfast and to celebrate with him. And I said, we have some stuff in the car, though. I said, when we get there, can you come out and help us with the stuff in the car? He said, yeah, yeah, yeah. So we went down the street with everybody and had all our horns out, and we're walking down the street towards his house. And I called him. I said, ring a ding ding. Hey man, we're just about to show up. Can you come out and meet us out front? So he comes out and we're already blowing, man. And he's like, oh my God, what is going on here? And so we played for about a half hour. Um, and his partner, she sent me a video the other day of her standing behind him as we're on the front yard.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. It was so beautiful, and brought him so much joy, and it brought us so much joy that I thought, wow, man, this is palpable. And so uh, we kind of reconfigured a little bit because some people weren't available, some people were. Um, and there's a farmer's market down the street, like just 2 or 3 blocks from where we live, and it's pretty big. And things were just starting to come out. People were just starting to be able to get out, masking 8 feet away, the whole dealio. We were all there in the midst of it. And so we showed up. We popped up and started playing, and had a tip bucket, you know, um, because I don't like to ask musicians to play for free
Yeah.
ever. And even if it's just a meal or, let's go get coffee or whatever. But, these guys had been out of work for a long time, except for a little bit of studio work here and there. And people lost their minds, man.
Yeah.
People were literally weeping.
Wow.
So that's how powerful music can be, and
Absolutely.
how music is. And my wife plays in the band also. She plays tambourine in the band. Um, and so having her along for the ride has been amazing also. And it's a great group of people. I love everybody dearly. And Ray has since moved to LA. He's actually going to be back this weekend, and we've got a little gig we're doing together. But super fun,
Yeah.
and it all, again, most of the things that I do come from the passion of me doing them.
Yeah.
I'm not someone to take something just to take it. I want to have fun with it. I want it to be a passion project. And um, so this is kind of in that same vein. I've loved New Orleans brass band music for a long time, and this record is certainly influenced by that. It's not a New Orleans brass band record.
Right.
It's a Nashville brass band record,
Yeah.
and complete with all the wide influences that Ray and I have. I wrote most of the material, and Ray was in on some of it also, which was great. I love collaboration when I'm writing, and Ray has great ideas. and his spirit, I feel, is um, very similar to me in the sense of, man, like, let's do this, let's play, let's make music, let's bring the joy. And so yeah, it was a super fun project, and the response has been really great. People seem to really, they get the vibe of it,
Yep. Yep.
and so that makes us happy, man. Makes us happy.
What a great gift into Chris and 50, because that's such a big deal to make it to that point. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Sure.
it's beautiful. The sound and the way you described it, I think about a wine. You know you're drinking wine, but when you have hints of things in there and you really focus on it, it's
Mhm.
wonderful how all of you have come in and you have this amalgamation. Was that something that you were thinking about going in when you were trying to christen the sound, or was it just kind of an organic thing where everybody came in with their goods, their methodologies, their history of playing music, and it just all came together?
It was very organic. The way that I write um, is very organic. It's very melody driven. It's sometimes based off of a bass line that maybe we double with Barry sax or trombone or whatever. There's a few overdubs on the record. Um, there's a bunch of stuff that was done just live also, and I recorded it in my studio, which is outside above my garage. And we could take the time to explore things, try things, taking input from everybody in the band, who is also a wonderful composer in their own right. And so, yeah, I think it was very organic, and again, just trying to come up with great music, just trying to serve the tunes and serve each other and serve the people listening. Um, the music that I tend to listen to for enjoyment is very wide and very wide in scope, very like if Facebook or the internet tried to figure out my algorithm, it'd probably fry because it's so different moment to moment.
Yeah.
And might be listening to some music out of Mali 1 second, and then listening to uh, some kind of out jazz like Patricia, what's her last name? Brennan. She's
Brennan.
a
Yeah, the
wonderful
vibes.
vibe player,
Yeah.
and kind of everything in between.
Yeah.
Um, maybe it's Fela Kuti, maybe it's uh, some Alan Lomax field recordings, or some Bulgarian brass band music or whatever. So it's really all across the board. And so I tried to bring these elements in whenever I compose.
Yeah.
And sometimes you kind of go through and you write two or three tunes that are of a similar vein, and one kind of leaps to the top. It's like when people do paintings. A lot of times you'll see that somebody is kind of in a like Picasso's Blue Period, for
Yeah.
example.
Yep.
He was really delving into that color because it was intriguing.
Mhm.
So sometimes there's a rhythm or a vibe that I'll dig into as a composer to really try to unfold it, to kind of open it up and go, well, what if I try this? What if I open this? What if I do this? And so the African elements, the Brazilian elements, the folk elements, the country reference with Dolly Parton's 9 to 5,
Yeah.
that's on there.
Yep.
World music references, um, they're all in there.
Yeah.
I think that they're really, of course, the New Orleans influences too. I think they're all in there, and I think that people can hear it and hopefully appreciate it for pulling from those cultures, from the deep honor and respect that we have for all those cultures of music, and Black American music,
Yeah.
jazz, if you want to call it that. Um, the umbrella of that is very, very wide,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I just like exploring sound and vibe and grooves. Um, we did Giant Steps as a second line tune,
Uh-huh.
and it's called Step It Up,
Yeah.
and or Stepping Up. I can't remember. Maybe Stepping Up. And so, the idea behind that also is like when there's a parade, like you're stepping up, like the way that the legs come up and all this.
Yeah.
But to do a tune like that most people like play blazing fast, be doo 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 doo, you know, it's like okay, but
Yeah.
the changes are so cool.
Uh-huh.
Like slow it down, man. Like really hear it, feel it. Like anything, you know, anything can be complicated. You can make the simplest thing really complicated,
Yep.
or you can make something really complicated really simple.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah. I played 9 to 5. I'm a kid of the 80s, so I listening to that song just brought back all these memories. But
Right.
what a wonderful spin. So I'm curious, the album artwork is awesome. Just that whole idea of the poster coming off the wall and boom, there's just a little bit. How did the album art come about? How did the name of the band come about?
So the state flower in Tennessee is the iris,
Okay, okay.
and I think maybe it's the domesticated iris. And I thought, well, domesticated iris doesn't sound very good. And so in New Orleans, you know, like they have like the wild magnolias, and um, you know, different names for the groups. And so I think of this band as like these are some wild musicians. You know, these are some very uh, open and far-reaching musicians. And so I thought that the Wild Iris brass band was appropriate,
Yeah,
and Ray concurred. And so the artwork, I take a lot of photos. I'm very deeply into photography,
yeah,
and this photo that I took was of some kind of poster that had been on the wall, and attached to it was Mr. Magoo,
yeah,
right? The comic character.
yeah,
And so you know we didn't want to have Magoo in there, and so we you know we tweaked the photo just a little bit, um, and I like that it kind of looks like a bass drum.
yeah, totally.
The inside of it kind of looks like a bass drum, but it's frayed. It's you know it's to me it's sort of like it represents the music, and that it's not meant to be pristine. It's not meant to be a bunch of right angles,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And so yeah, it came together, and I've been doing a lot of Photoshop stuff for records recently, just because you know I do a lot of photography, I do a lot of drawing, and I feel like okay, I kind of understand what we're looking for, and you know I kind of collaborate with people, and I'm like, well, you know, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And so I had a couple of people give me some ideas on that, and then on the back, Michael Weintraub, a great photographer here in town, who's known for a series called Instrument Head that he does. It is pretty amazing. Um, Took some photos in his studio, and that one in the back where we're all kind of just, you know, breaking up laughing.
yeah,
That's kind of the band. You know, we laugh more than we would rehearse, quite honestly,
yeah.
and that's just the vibe, you know. Um, so yeah, and I kind of put the back of it together, and you know, Ray was like, "Oh, what if we did this? What if we tried this color?" And so again, collaboration. I think that you know, people that you trust who have ideas. But if you get too many of them, like then you can get in trouble because you're trying all these ideas, and then you start moving in a kind of a vortex,
Yeah,
like a whirlpool, and you can't get out of it.
yeah.
And so I think limited collaboration is is uh, is really great.
So going back to that word domesticated, how much fun is it to play with your wife on this album, to have that shared musical union on an album?
It's great. I mean, I try to get her on as much stuff as I can. She also plays harmonium,
Yeah,
and so even if it's like a drone behind a tune or a melody or whatever, you know, I've tried to include her when I can.
yeah,
And, we we were talking to her sister Yuko over in Japan while the record was coming together, and I said, you know, I said we could get Yuko. I could plug the phone in, and she could do like there's some vocal stuff. And I said, you know, we could have her, like, you know, like just jump on the vocal stuff and we can just plug it in. So she's on the record, you know,
yeah, yeah.
and it wasn't like she was here and recorded it, but we got her in through the phone. So that was really sweet also.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I know you're a busy man. What are you doing for live shows to promote this album and to get out with the band? Or is there anything planned?
You know, not much, man, because everybody's so busy.
Yeah,
The trumpet player is out with Tedeschi Trucks, Emmanuel Lechem. Javon teaches a lot and also tours a bunch. He's been out. Um, Neil, the sousaphone player, pretty much is in the studio 24/7. Um, Justin also is in the studio a lot. I'm on the road a lot. Um, uh, it's hard to find the time, man.
Yeah.
Even for my own singular projects, it's hard to find the time and the availability of people. Um, but when Ray is back in town, we'll set some stuff up and just pop ups here or there, or get together and rework the material and do that. But I mean, we would love to, obviously,
Yeah.
but logistically, taking that many people and that much gear
Yeah.
is a challenge,
Yeah.
to say the least.
For
And so
sure.
if someone can stay home and make $500 or $600 during the day,
Yeah.
um, it's like, do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but when we're here and we're able to do a pop up, this, that, the other thing, I think it's really great.
Yeah. So how's the label doing? I know you're busy with that. How's
Good,
everything going?
good. I just hired Eric Lentz, who worked for Snarky Puppy for many years on Ground Up,
Okay.
and he's also he knows publishing very, very well. So I've hired him about a month and a half ago to really kind of spearhead things and to try to take the label to the next level. And so we have some really great releases coming up. Ibro Diabate, who's a Ghanaian percussionist
Yeah.
via Senegal also. He's got a beautiful project coming up this fall. And Rockalam Bob Moses has a really fantastic project that I'm releasing also, that a couple of the West African percussionists are on that as well. Myself and a few other horn players, Danny Gottlieb also, and his
Yeah.
wife on drums. Um, and so yeah, so Ebro is part of an organization I helped co-found called Africa Nashville,
Yeah.
and the website is africanashville.com, where we're bringing in West African drummers from West Africa, but also from the States, to collaborate and to make music, to teach, to educate, to give master classes, and it's pretty awesome. It's
Yeah.
pretty awesome. And I played with Ebro last night. There was a benefit for an immigrant organization here in town, trying to cause some good trouble, if you know what I'm saying.
I dig it.
And Ebro, I mean, he's something else, man. He's ferocious on djembe, and sings and plays dundun and kreen and kinkini, and all sorts of West African drums, and it's unbelievable, quite
Yeah.
honestly. Yeah.
Speaking of good trouble, the one thing about living through this very strange time we're in right now in 2025, do you get the sense with all of the crowds that you play in front of that people are really needing this escape with music? Is that something that you think about with you're giving them this outlet of just kind of
Yeah.
absorbing into this world and leaving this world we're in behind for a little while?
Yeah, I think so. But music has always been political,
Right.
always, since the time of Bach and Beethoven.
Yeah.
And before that too, even with Gregorian chant and that whole thing. So it's always had an element of, there's always been a social implication. Let me say that.
Yeah.
And I'm very quick to block someone that says shut up and play.
Right.
You know, because to me, they don't really understand the point of what we're doing, and to be that dismissive and to be that disrespectful um, is truly unbelievable.
Yeah.
We have the right to express ourselves in this country, and there's many countries that don't, and we're moving in that direction, though, I do believe. And so I'm going to be shouting from the rooftops, bro. you
Yeah.
know I'm going to use my platform to talk about things that are important to me,
Yeah.
and people are free to disagree, but I'm also free to disagree with them. But
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, yes, I do think that music and art um, have the potential to take us away from some of this. But when you start um, trying to politicize the making of the art, right? Like what's happening at the Kennedy Center.
Yeah.
To me, that's a travesty. And, it's also sort of not so subtle censorship.
Mhm.
And these are things that I rail against
Yeah.
and that really boil my blood. And whenever I post on socials, I never tag Dave Matthews Band because I don't speak for the band.
Right.
I speak for me alone.
Sure.
And if the band puts something out, then that's fine. Whatever. I'm part of that band, and we all share a similar, um, I think, philosophy of life of trying to treat people well, treat people fairly, um, be gentle with each other, love each other, and I think the music reflects that.
Yeah.
And we want to bring joy to people and laughter and comfort. Um, but we also have to speak out about the atrocities that we see and that we perceive. Um, People say stuff sometimes that is so heinous about us personally or the band without realizing anything about who we are
Uh-huh.
or who we represent
Mhm.
or our family members or our history, et cetera, et cetera. And so I'll sometimes engage on socials to have these conversations, and I think we need to do that more. I think we need to talk more rather than calling people names. I hate that the president calls people names.
Yeah.
It's like
Me too.
shut up and lead,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And if I mean, here's the thing: if I had a friend that talked to people like that, I would say, man, shut the up,
Uh-huh.
stop
Yeah.
doing this.
Yeah.
But people aren't, and I think it's awful.
Yeah.
I think it's incredibly disrespectful, not only to the people, but also to the office,
Hmm.
and to the country.
Yeah.
And I think um, it appeals to the lowest common denominator in people.
Hmm.
And I'm not about that.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Me
How
too. And
I
I
was
think,
brought up. If I talk to people like that, man, my mom would slap the shit out of me.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I
Uh,
just think about the kids, like setting a precedent for the kids, having
right. Yeah, we were in this
respect.
whole anti-bullying thing, and then comes along the biggest bully in the world.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Awful. I
It
think it's
doesn't make any
awful.
sense. Doesn't make any sense. Well, getting back to that musician standpoint, I think people out there that just throw these comments out, they don't realize that you're human beings. I mean, you guys are
Right.
all people. You know what I'm saying? It's like you guys all have souls, you have lives, you have histories. You guys are all you're the end goal here is to provide um an entertainment. I mean, not just entertainment, but artistry. Like, I don't
Mhm.
know how people can be that flippant and just switch over into gears and to say things the way they do. But it's
Yeah, I don't either. I understand people are angry, people are frustrated, people are confused. I mean, I'm all these things also.
yeah,
And I'm a hypocrite sometimes too, just as everybody is.
yeah,
But I was having a direct message conversation with somebody yesterday that lives here, and he makes these very passive aggressive comments sometimes. And I just told him, I said, look, man, I said, I'm tired of it. Cut it out.
yeah,
And he's like, you're really sensitive or whatever. And I was like, basically, you know, what's up, dude?
yeah,
And I told him, I said, here's the thing, man. I said, and I explained my position to him. And um, he said, well, I feel singled out sometimes. I said, well, I'm sorry if you do, but I said, I respond to people. And here's the thing, like, if you sting somebody, they may sting back,
yeah,
you know, and I don't do it by calling people names. I don't do it by being derogatory to them. I don't do it by beating around the bush. I talk to them and say, here's the deal, man. Here's where I'm at. And do I think I'm right? Yeah, most of the time I do.
yeah,
And that may be a fault. But I am willing to listen to people. But what I'm not willing to do, excuse me, is compromise my integrity and to compromise the fact that we are all human beings
yeah,
and that we have rights, you know?
yeah,
And there are ways to go about taking care of immigration things. I'm married to a legal immigrant. a woman of color.
Yeah.
And so these things hit home.
Yeah.
I have friends who are gay. I have friends who are trans. I have family members who are gay. I have family members who are trans.
Mm-hmm.
So this affects my family.
Yeah.
There are people who I love that are all these different things. And so when someone comes after one of them, they're coming after all of them.
Yeah.
If I was a brown person in this country, I would be terrified.
Yeah.
Terrified.
Yeah.
If I had a Hispanic last name, I would be terrified. Legal or not, it doesn't seem to matter. Constitution or not, it doesn't seem to matter. So these things are important.
Mm-hmm.
These things affect all of us, not just one of us.
Right.
Because we are humanity. We are one people.
Yep.
The color of our skin has nothing to do with anything but pigmentation.
Yeah. Right.
It's regional. It's evolution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
most certainly.
So these are soapboxes I jump up upon.
Yeah.
And gladly do that. But again, the idea of us talking with one another, and realizing that we can come together through music, I think is a really beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
I'm sure that there were people at this benefit last night who would disagree with some of my politics.
Right.
And I would disagree with some of theirs. But at the same time, we're able to come together for a cause. Because I think we get into this minutia, like, we're sort of encouraged to divide.
Yeah.
And I think that at the highest level of office, I think that that's being encouraged. Yes. Saying that, Democrats don't want peace. Democrats want war. Democrats are pedophiles. Dear God, man.
Yeah, I know.
Are you kidding me? That we support pedophilia? It's just gross, the things that are being said. And there are things being said on the other side too that are gross. But this is a daily occurrence, man.
Yeah, I know.
And I think it's awful. And I think that if we start to recognize that we have more in common than we do that we don't have in common, then maybe that's a little bit of common ground where we can sort of stop the momentum of pulling apart and go, okay, well, maybe let's just wait here for a second, have some conversations, and then maybe start kind of drifting back and going, okay, here we go. Let's move forward in the best sense of the word for the betterment of our communities, for the betterment of people in general.
Yep.
And let's err on that side for a while.
Absolutely. So well said, man. So Way Up is the new album. It's wonderful. I've had it on the show. It's always so good to catch up with you. If anyone wants to pick up a copy or any of the wonderful work you're doing on your label, where do they go?
They can either go to jeffcoffin.com or earuprecords.com. Earuprecords.com.
Yes, sir. Jeff, so good to catch up with you, man. Thank you so much for your wisdom.
I appreciate it very much.
I appreciate it.
And jazz fans, Joe Domino of Neon Jazz here. Proud to let you know about the triumphant return of the Kansas City Blues and Jazz Festival to Legends Field at the home of the KC Monarchs with a stellar lineup. Grammy-winning Stanley Clarke, Carl Denson's Tiny Universe, jazz master Bill Frisell, and KC luminaries Jackie Myers and Brody Buster. Tickets and more for this electrifying two-day event is found at monarchsbaseball.com, then click on special events. This October 3rd and 4th, join us as we bring magic and music back to Kansas City.